welcome to Worldwide Wiki. Today is June 29th, and we are doing our Sunday podcast. I'm Doreen.
I'm James.
And we are going to talk about the Poop Cruise that was just released on Netflix this week. And I hope that you guys all had a chance to watch it. And if you didn't, this is our review of the Poop Cruise. So the story of the Poop Cruise is basically 2013. Carnival Triumph went on it was a 4-day cruise, correct?
4-day cruise.
4-day cruise. It was in the Gulf of Mexico. It was basically Texas to
a resort in Mexico and back.
And back. So a super quick trip, super great. Actually, those types of cruises are great cheap wise. You get all the amenities on the cruise ship. You get to a resort. You get to go back. You're enjoying some wonderful weather.
It's especially fun for like bachelorette parties, which as we saw in the documentary, there was a bachelorette party that they interviewed. It's good for just general, you want to go with your friends and have a good time.
And they're usually a really great price.
Yeah. So short cruises, that's what they're fun for. Sometimes they're known as booze cruises.
Yeah. So if you have not seen this Netflix special and you don't want to have any spoilers, I would suggest that you don't watch the rest of this YouTube video. But we want you to watch it. We also want you to subscribe to the channel. So make sure you do that. And also we have a regular newsletter that goes out and it's free on Substack. So make sure you check us out at Worldwide Wiki. Okay. So getting back to the Poop Cruise. So they were in like day 2?
They were on their way back, actually, day 3.
They're on their way back and it had a fire.
Engine fire
that it completely stalled in the Gulf of Mexico. And they were stuck, stranded, like literally in the middle. Like they were days away from anybody.
There was no swimming for it.
Right. And they were calling tugs, but all kinds of problems started to occur.
Yep.
And I think the biggest thing was the bathrooms. So the bathrooms didn't work, and they had to...
So they had to pee in the shower.
Right. They had to pee in the shower.
And poop in the little red bags.
And poop in the red bags.
Because the toilets need electricity
to run. So they had to poop in the biohazard bag. And then on top of it, over the day or two, they had to... There were people that were, what was the whole deal with them, like getting out, like they had like little tent cities like out on the balcony.
Well, once the air conditioning went out,
you're
right. Out in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico, stifling heat, hot weather. There was people were starting to move their mattresses and stuff outside to the deck to the poop deck because they couldn't handle being inside anymore. It was between the smell and just it being, the heat, it just got kind of bad. And none of the drains were working either. So,
right.
They may have been peeing in the shower, but it wasn't going very far.
No. And that was the thing, like when they made the announcement over the loudspeaker about like what people could do as far as the bathrooms. I mean, there were people, one girl said that she was taking Imodium on the trip constantly.
Yeah, because she didn't want to poop on board the ship.
She didn't want to poop on board the ship.
Another person went around from bathroom to bathroom, hoping to find a bathroom that was actually on the emergency power to actually use the bathroom.
Because they were not going to be pooping in a red bag. It was, wow.
It's hard to sympathize with that.
Right, and then they decided to open up the bar one night.
Yeah.
A mistake.
Yeah, I could have told them that this... And, of course, they had the bar, the free booze. You had all the results that you can expect. Wild behavior, fights on board. Considering that Carnival has a reputation for having fights on board and fights at the dock,
right,
to begin with, you would have thought that somebody would have said, this is not a smart idea.
Right, and people were pissing off the balcony or the
side of the ship.
Side of the ship and everything, and they had to shut the bars down.
Now, if you can imagine, I mean, this, all it takes is the breeze to blow the wrong way, and you may think you're peeing off the side of the ship, but you're really peeing on
Right.
the balcony below.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
And they were throwing trash in the tender boats, which I thought was kind of bizarre. That might be the only way off that boat after
Right.
a while.
I mean, I think worst cruise ever. That's what it was.
Yeah, what was interesting to us is, I don't know, we're used to a much smaller ship. You're talking about a ship.
There were 4,000 people on this boat.
Yeah, if you include
So it was
the
one of their
crew
big
and
ones,
the
yeah.
passengers, 4,000
There was
people.
4,000 people on the boat, and it was loaded too.
Yeah, and they were showing scenes before the fire happened of the pool area and how crowded the pool area was. And I looked at that and said, that's a hell ship before it even
Yeah, no
has
way.
problems.
So most of you, if you've watched our stuff or even know us personally, James and I are not big cruisers to begin with. And our minds were changed when we took an Azamara cruise in 2023 to Scotland and the UK and Ireland. And we went on Azamara again last year when we went to the Dalmatian coast and Venice. So, but Azamara is a very different type of cruise line where they are very small and they're very intimate voyages, and
It's very personable service.
right. Everything's really kind of included in your ticket price, so you can pay for extras, but like you have to buy like Wi-Fi package, but that's really like, you honestly could eat very well and have a very basic beverage package and not have to pay extra for that because that's all included in your ticket price.
Yeah, and there's not like water slides and
No.
wild shows, and
They cater all to the experience. So
Yeah.
so we're watching this Netflix, The Poop Cruise, and I'm going, whoa, that's like worst case scenario.
And what was interesting to me is that the boat had drifted off course. They couldn't just tow it back to Mexico.
Well, remember they brought the tugs in, and then it was like all on the side. Do you remember that?
Yeah, the boat tipped.
And then there was like a storm.
Yeah, so they made all the conditions go from bad to worse. Meanwhile, CNN is flying in helicopters to record it. You got another cruise ship passing by, and
there was another cruise ship that passed by, and they didn't come and help them. It was almost like the one girl said that they felt like they were part of the entertainment.
It's just the happy stop, one of the ship excursions.
Crazy.
So, overall, I thought it was not actually a bad documentary. I wish that they would had interviewed more people. They kept it down to a limited number of people. They talked about how CNN's made the decision to cover the whole incident. I think I could have done with less of that.
They also had the lawyer.
Yeah, they had the lawyer, which I found somewhat interesting, but I think it would have been more interesting to just hear what the end result of everything was. And also, you didn't hear about if anybody actually got sick from all this.
Right, they didn't talk about that either.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised. I mean, given the unsanitary conditions, you would have figured that somebody would have gotten sick. So, yeah, definitely, though, interesting to see. And it was a bunch of people that probably wish they had been on the Titanic instead.
I just can't even imagine like how bad the conditions were.
But they all got vouchers.
Yeah, they all got vouchers. And Carnival ended up spending a ton of money on redoing that ship. And now it's the Carnival Sunrise.
Yeah.
So it's still out there. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just the ick factor. Just knowing
I don't know if I'd ever.
Raw sewage running everywhere. And
No. That's just disgusting. Gross.
So, yeah, it's just contrary to our experience of being on a ship at sea.
No, I'm definitely somebody who prefers smaller boats, smaller ships, smaller experiences.
Yeah, and definitely smaller amounts of people on board, sane atmosphere.
Well, and we're in our 50s and we're kind of empty nesters now, and it's I really don't want to get out. And this is no offense to families, because we had our kids too, but I am not interested in a ship that's got
Other people's
other
children.
people's children, or roller coasters and big slides, whatever else. I prefer an older crowd. I prefer to be able. I like to be left alone. I don't really.
Yeah, I mean, and we talk about Asmara a lot, but the morning until night, being in port, spending the whole day there, and then just coming back to the ship just to have a relaxing drink at the end of the evening, just to kind of recap the day and get a nice.
Or even if you're back, that's the thing. Like really good breakfasts in the morning before you start your day. When you get back from a day of excursions, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, going up to the buffet and having a phenomenal buffet. Hands down, Azamara's food is just the best.
Yeah, and it's clear that the carnival experience, the experience is the ship, not the destination.
Right.
For those of us that prefer the experience to be the destination and not the ship, that's certainly not for us.
And that's for me, it doesn't matter. Like, I know a lot of people say like Azamara boats are not necessarily current. Like, you can see that they're dated. You know what? That boat takes me to Dublin. That boat takes me to Belfast. That boat takes me to, Inverness for the day. Took me to Venice for the day. I don't need to have a top state-of-the-art boat experience. I just needed to get from one city to the next port so that I can enjoy everything that's happening there.
Yeah, and there's enough entertainment.
Yeah, so I just think Azamara that's really kind of our favorite,
it's
our
the
favorite
hotel
cruise.
at sea.
It is. It's a hotel at sea. Okay, so we're going to wrap it up there with the poop cruise.
Yeah, we want to talk about it.
So I suggest you watch it. We're interested in comments. Let us know what you think about it if you watched it. You can go ahead and comment on the video below and let us know what you thought.
And like and subscribe this video.
Yeah, like and subscribe. It's free and doesn't cost anything. And you help us get to 50 so that we can have our live status.